Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Wilson, PGA Master Professional, Impact Zone Golf Master Instructor, and Executive Director of Golf Operations for Keiser University College of Golf. Welcome to our little session here. We're going to talk to you today about impact conditions, something you'll hear a lot about on TV broadcasts that you're watching, major championships. A lot of things are going towards impact conditions. And what is impact all about? This will help you improve your golf game if you take it for what it's worth and practice it. So first, let's start with this. You got to have some knowledge about what's going on. So one of the best books out there, if you can find this one, is Search for the Perfect Swing. Written in 1968, by the way, but it's still something that's applicable today. And right off the bat, in chapter 1, the first page, you can see it's been used a little bit. What does it take to hit a relatively straight golf shot? Well, number one, swing the club face straight through the ball towards the aiming point. Number two, make the club face aim square towards the target as you swing through it, or at least during that part of the swing when it's in contact with the golf ball. Number three, swing the club head through impact as fast as you can. And number four, hit the ball somewhere relatively in the middle of the golf club. So that's what Search for the Perfect Swing says, and that's the way to hit the golf ball. Another great player that many of you will recognize is Mr. Jack Nicklaus. This is Golf My Way, his book. Page 1, or page 1915, chapter 1. I'm not a believer in methods. I'm a believer in fundamentals. Whatever any golfer does with a golf club should have only one purpose: to produce correct impact of the club on the ball. So he's not about swing styles. He's about what Search for the Perfect Swing talked about, those four important ingredients. And finally, just today at least, Impact Zone Golf by Bobby Clampett talks about the same thing, about his travails and the things he went through being the #1 player in the world when he tried to change his swing style and did not understand the effects of impact or the conditions of impact in the golf ball. So those are three basic books to start with. And what we want to talk about today is how you can best learn to develop proper impact conditions. Now, we've got a marvelous facility here at the College of Golf. We've got a lot of fancy equipment that we can use, and we do use, as a matter of fact. Flight scope right here. We've got the V1 technology, which is video. You've got access to that on your smartphones or computers at home. So how do you go about improving your impact conditions? Well, number one, when I work with students, what I tell them is, if you can't do it slow, you can't do it fast. And if you can't do it small, you can't do it big. So we want to start learning by doing the drills slow and small. So let's take a look and see how we can do this. What we want to start out with is understanding that small and slow is done at large space. In other words, if you are familiar with golf, you know what a chip shot's all about. You know what a pitch shot's all about. And a chip shot usually starts with feet together, ball positioned back, small motions. Well, that's fine for chipping. But what we're trying to do is do drills that promote impact conditions from a full-on setup position. So what I'm going to recommend is that you get into your setup position just like you would on a normal shot, full shot, but then make small moves, very small moves. You see it, very small. So the club doesn't even reach level here. It's just small and small. And what are we looking for? We're looking for a few things here. Number one, my most important thing that I want to have everybody learn to do is hit the ball to the center of the golf club. And we use face tape, we use Dr. Scholl's foot powder spray, but just learn by hitting over and over to the middle of the golf club how to find center contact. That's one of the most important things you can do. What will it look like? It's going to look like this down the line. So you can see here, small, small. So you don't see a lot of release of the golf club going through, and you don't see a lot of big motion going through. What you do see is a very small motion going through the golf club. So what are we looking for? Well, let me show you what we're looking for on the video. We're ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to take a small shot. Ready for this? It's going this way. So here we go. Small. Boom. And we're going to go over the video. Let's take a look. Slow motion. You can see I've got a normal setup. What am I looking for here? Well, I'm going to go over the down the line. This is what we call the down the line version of the shot. And you can see the club is moving right level there. And as it comes down, the shaft should line up on your right forearm. Now, it's too small to really see that from here. But you can see it's coming from the inside onto the ball. Boom, there's impact. In the facing view, here's what you're trying to find physically to have happen. You can see the club is being loaded, and then you can see the hands right there are leading the golf club into impact. So what we're doing is we're building a wall right at impact, right there. So you can see this is what we call building the wall. So you can see a straight line point from the golf club, golf ball, boom, straight up, and there's the ball release. Now, what we're looking for after that is the golf club releasing and turning over, so the toe of the club moving through. So I hit that ball as good as I could, right in the middle of the golf club, and I find an extension and release, and this is exactly what I want to do. I want to do this a lot. I want to practice this over and over again until I can make it happen every time, at least 7 out of 10 times. And once I do that, I can start building larger and larger swings. So what we would do is from this position right here, start building a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, still trying to make sure that we have center contact with the golf club and the golf ball, and the club moving in the proper direction through the ball. So remember, from Search for the Perfect Swing, we're trying to make sure that the golf club points at the target when you're swinging through the golf ball. Because generally speaking, wherever this golf club is pointing when you hit it, when you hit the ball, that's where the ball is going to go. So if I'm trying to hit it towards you, and that club is looking like this, the ball is going to go generally towards you. If it's looking like this at impact, the ball is going to go that way. If it's looking like this at impact, the ball is going to go that way. So understanding what causes the ball to go where it goes is a critical part of learning your skills. So once we find the center of the golf club, what we want to then do is be able to control the face of the golf club so it points toward the target of impact. And then finally, we want to start building to a point where we can swing as fast as possible, making those conditions happen, and then resulting in a shot that goes relatively toward the target. So that really applies to all of our golf shots, from our irons to our woods, and we will talk about the difference in woods and irons in our next session. But this is the way we start. So start small and learn from going small to big. Start slow, so you go slow to fast. And once you learn these impact conditions, you can start developing control of the golf club and control of the golf ball. Visit us at collegeofgolf.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Once again, I'm Dr. Eric Wilson, Executive Director of College of Golf. Thanks very much for showing.